Hey everyone, Out2099. So if you saw the pasta video, this is somewhat the part 2 to that. So this will be about what to do if you don't have a pasta machine. So my dough, I would personally recommend leaving it overnight, wrapped in saran wrap. That's just going to be the best thing to do, easiest thing to do, and it will taste way better. You could, of course, dry it, which is where you take the noodles and you lay them over a thing, but you should really do that after you cut them. So this is sort of a verbal explanation than a visual, only because my kitchen is kind of occupied right now. So you're going to take the simple dough, roll it into pretty thin sheets, very thin, fold it over, so you're sort of layering it. And then you are going to roll it out one more time. After that, you're going to fold it again, roll it out, fold it again, roll it out. Do it as many times until you get a very thin dough. You don't want to just roll it out once and do that. No, do it many times. This is similar to going through a pasta machine, crank on 7, and then going to 6, and then 5, and then 4, tightening the bars so that you get a much thinner dough, meaning thinner pasta. Then cutting it. You can simply use any type of knife. I use my normal kitchen knife, which is a real knife that you should have, recommending it. And you're going to cut it into simple slices, making noodles. Of course, you can optionally do tortellini, which is simply making into cubes, filling with a tiny bit of cheese, and then folding them up, folding them over like a letter, taking chopsticks and pulling it in, sort of creating an edge. It is hard. It took me a lot of tries until I sort of got it right. Even then, I find it too complicated. I make a very thin piece of dough. I wrap it into a ball with my hands, and that's really it. Ravioli. That's even simpler than tortellini. You're going to roll out 2 nice sheets of pasta dough, very, very thin, and then indentate basically where you want your pieces to be. Make sure they're the same length. You don't want one under, over, same length. Then you're going to take a scoop of whatever you want. You can do meat, you can do butternut squash, you can do cheese, even if you're just kind of feeling bored, and put that in a nice dollop inside it. And then what you will do, you put a little nice dollop, and then you put it over, and then you just simply cut it into little squares, and then press down the edges. You can even do sort of a little knife thing where you just take the knife and saw back, just making a little closure in it, and just pinch it, and there you go, you got ravioli. Just know, pasta is a craft. It takes a lot of time, and it's hard. You're not going to get on your first try. So keep on trying. I definitely screwed up the dough. I accidentally used a gluten-free, grain-free dough that I've never used before. Flour, I mean, that I've never used before. There is a whole link, there's a whole, well, I guess article, basically, the whole recipe to the, there's a whole instruction list in the bottom of the other video, the pasta one, about what ingredients you should use, what you should do. I added water a little later than I should have, and it wasn't great. It definitely wasn't great. Now, cooking. Once you have your noodles all nice and done, you can have fettuccine, angel hair, linguine. I'm trying to think of names, I can't anymore. Any type of pasta. You're going to simply take it. You can drape it over a thing if you want. If you want to drape it over like a wood block, you can do that, but you don't have to. I definitely, I personally would. I would drape it over a little cloth. But, of course, do it the way that you want. I just take like a little 2x4 piece of wood that's cut into like a little rectangle, drape them over. You're good. Now what you're going to do is either let them sit overnight or right away just put them into your pot. Once you put them into your pot, you're going to stir them. You're going to have to stir them. If you don't stir them, they will sort of clump up and become just a mass, and it won't be good. I did that. It's not good. Don't do it. I'd recommend. And wait until your pasta kind of comes to the top. When it kind of rises, that's good. And if it doesn't do that, you can, of course, take some out, test it. If it's a little too chewy, or if it doesn't taste right, throw it away, and then continue cooking the rest of them. I just mean the individual noodles. Don't throw all the noodles away. And keep on doing it. Of course, homemade pasta is an acquired taste, so you might be upset with it and might not think it's good, but ask your parents. How does this taste? My mama, she liked it, so good there. I'm not the greatest chef in the world. I'm just a home chef, and I think cooking is just my passion. So I'm fine with making mistakes. Just know, don't let your mistakes stop you. That's kind of all I gotta say. But one more thing. Whenever you cut pasta, kind of don't leave it in noodles. You can drape them if you want, but once you drape them, you gotta sprinkle some flour on top. If you want to make them into a little nest of kind of pasta, you have to sprinkle flour on top. Just sprinkle a little bit of flour on top. I would really recommend doing a huge, and I mean huge, bowl for the water to boil. That is just the thing that you should do. A big bowl. Taste it. The next video I post will be a recipe on one of the easiest dried pastas you'll ever make, and it tastes so good. It is fiery, it is garlicky, it's fantastic. I'll post that probably, maybe even tomorrow. I'll post that someday, and there will be a couple more cooking videos coming up. So please, if you haven't seen the one before this is Pasta Making Part 2. Go check out Pasta Making Part 1. This one is audio, that one is visual. That one, yes, is, something happened with the audio. Kind of got fucked up. So it is very quiet. Sorry about that. This one, of course, is not. You can hear me clearly. Yeah. So, I'm trying to make more cooking content. I think that's more fun, especially since we're all in this thing together. Stay home, stay safe, you know? And, if you're watching, Rob, sorry I made you cry.